Alright guys, welcome to a deck profile by me, Eric Ezy3lkan. I'm going to show you my Kozmo build. It's not the Fire King build. I believe that Fire King build is pretty superior if you can get those combos off. I just want to show you my build in particular. So let's start off with the main deck first. So we got 1, 2, 3 tin cans. That is my go-to play right there. One of, at least. You always want to summon Tin Can or summon him back again when you're just popping a ship back from the deck. His effects at end phase are just very OP. So for me, that is a 3 of. Now we come here and I got one Straw Man. I recently had two, but I cut one for another card that I'll show you later on. But the one Straw Man is a must. His effects by special summoning a banished monster, just paying 500, but their effects are negated. Doesn't matter, they still can go to the grave and get their effects off there with a ship. So that's one for me. I got Farm Girl here. She is at 2. A lot of people only play 1 or maybe 2 at most. I think she is a 2 of at the very least. Her play is very effective with the search of any card. You always want to search into Dank or maybe even Lady nowadays, but she's a very, very versatile card. I really like her. I got the 2 Sword Troopers here. Once again, another maybe 2 to 3 of, depending on what kind of build you have. I believe having these cards are essential to keeping the flow of things going. By what I mean by that is, you know, having even having a Farm Girl or Tin Can or Dark Lady engraved, just paying 1,000, that's not that much. We do pay a lot of points as Kozmo players, myself, so that's not that bad when you want to get those cards on the field and get their effects going off too. So, and it's also a good play when you have the rank 3s for that XYZ play, so I'll show you later on. Let's put that aside. I got the one Kozmo Wicked Witch. She's very versatile in the mirror match. She is my only rank 4 in the deck right now. Did have 2. I did have Good Witch at one point. Just the Wicked Witch is just very good. Paying 1,000 for no destruction, not being destroyed. It's a very good card to have to go into. Once again, another pilot, and does look like kind of like a Darth Maul type Sith. I really like that. Now we're going into a 3 of, and of course, Slip Rider is that. Its effects of popping any back row, spell or trap card is very, very important. Even popping around Kozmo Town seems to be one of my go-to plays when I tag into Slip Rider. He's also good for the Infinity play. It's just a very versatile card. A very, very good level 5 monster here. So that is a 3 of though. Must. Now we got couple new cards to the set, or a little bit newer cards. You may have heard of her, the Kozmo Dark Lady, aka, you know, Darth Lady Vader. She's very menacing. Once per turn during the player's turn, you can negate a monster's effect just by paying 1,000. That can stop people's combos in mid combo and kind of wreck their flow of things. So this is a very good card, pretty much a game breaker. I think it's very, very versatile. Moving right along, we got the Kozmo Forerunner. Now, it being non-targetable and being a 28 beater, makes it a very versatile card. It's just another ship you can float into. It is just that I one of. I've had it out, I've had it in. For now, it's in for now. It's just another ship, another target for good old Tin Can. Coming to the big baddie here, we got that Dank Destroyer. That is a 3 of, no doubt about it. One of the best cards in the deck. 3k beater. Effects to target any card in the field to destroy. It does target itself as well. You know, there's lots of plays that you can make with Dank Destroyer. I really personally like this, and I love that the theme is Star Wars mixed with Wizard of Oz. Going to another ship here, we got the Dark Eclipser. Once again, just a one-of ship, 3k beater. No effects, as in bringing another ship or another rank level monster out of the deck to field when it hits the grave, but it does bring any Kozmo card to hand. So with other pilots and stuff on board, this can be pretty handy if it does get nuked. I just think, you know, its effects, it's not used that much, you know, but negating a trap card could save you the match. So this is definitely a one of, if ever, so I like it. 2 planets. I have been trying these planets out. I'll be honest, like, getting a planet play off is easy, but sometimes hard. So I am playing 2. The play is to banish one for the other. I mean, if I don't have both planets in hand, what do? Well, with Kozmo Town on board, you can kind of banish a couple up to level 10. It doesn't have to be exactly level 10, can be above. And you just want to bring one of those cards back with Kozmo Town. Once again, Cosmos play a lot. They use a lot of life points, as is. So, I'm just going to put this over here. The play with the Dark Planets, though, it's handy. I mean, you gotta definitely have fodder, tribute fodder in the grave, and for it to order to activate its effects. Scary Line's just too, I don't know, it's too late game situational for me to play in the deck yet, but I have been thinking of it. Maybe cutting a Forerunner, maybe cutting Wicked Witch to put in the Scaredy Line for the Dark Planet, but I might just cut these planets altogether. I do find myself cutting these out if I'm not really playing a really big, maybe if it's not a pendulum deck or something like that, then I don't really need to stop spells. But this still is, in my opinion, one of the newer, better cards. 4K beater, you can't really, you know, get over that. But now we're on to the spells. Probably one of the most important cards in this deck. This is a 3 of, no matter what. Kozmo Town. Its effects are just too good. Shuffling any Kozmo monster back into deck, draw that amount, bring back any banished monsters just by paying life points. Once again, paying life points seems to be quite the thing with Cosmos, but it does turn out to be effective if you can kill your opponent first too. So those paying for the life points doesn't really matter at the end of things. So once again, that is a 3 of. Also, if this is nuked and hits the grave, that's where you get to bring back any Kozmo card from deck to hand. So the Slip Rider play with this is actually kind of smart if you are in need of a card from your deck. When terraforming, I just play the 1 of just to search the Kozmo Town, because you definitely want to have Kozmo Town on the field at all times or in your hand. So terraforming is always a good card to have. Now, Ezy3lkan, the only card that really got hit in that ban list, went down to 2. Still, it's a great card. 2 of, making you summon into Farm Girl, Tin Can, even a Sword Trooper if you wanted, if you had those other psychic monsters in your grave. So again, Ezy3lkan is a pretty good card. It's definitely a 2 of for sure in this deck. So put that over here. And one card I've teched in. Most of the cards here are dark. If I look at the quick count right now, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 monsters are dark, so good chance you will be seeing it. More than a quarter of my deck is dark, so playing 1 of for that draw power is good, but it's also risky if you don't have any dark monsters in your hand when you use this. So it could be an all or nothing play. Most people like to play 2. I'm just playing it safe, playing it at 1. Just testing it out for now, but having draw power is definitely a good function to have in your deck. Twin Twisters. These, once again, I don't mind paying the cost, because you want to think of it, your cost for this card could be anything. I play a lot of cards that can summon things out of the grave, so putting a monster into the grave for cost isn't a big deal. If you're popping Scales, or even popping my own Kozmo Town seems to be a popular play with my Twin Twisters. It's always good to get the opponent's back row, whether it's a Solemn Warning, Strike, or who knows. But this is a good card. I have it at 2 right now. I think 3 is a little much, but 2 seems to be does the trick for me. Destruction here. We got the 1 of Regeki. Of course, it's always good to nuke the opponent's field first if you're going to go for the OTK instead of having to run over one of their monsters. So we got a dark hole here. Once again, similar thing, destroying all monsters in the field, not just my field, anybody's field, mine and my opponent's. So I don't mind if even if I had a dank and I had to desperately do something, I still would get effects from the ships that do when they banish themselves from the grave to summon another monster from deck to field, which is pretty OP in my opinion. So I had that at 2. I trimmed it down to 1 with the new cards in the set that came out. So now we're going to do traps. Now this is my mojo, baby. Well, literally it is. It's my Kozmo mojo. People say to play 1 or 2. No, you want to play 3 of these regardless. Banishing does not target. You target your own monster and destroy it. You select them, but it doesn't matter because you're banishing one of their cards regardless, and there's no real way they can stop this. It's a very OP card. I think this is a 3 of regardless, and I feel like this is one of the best cards in the deck to help you get over the mirror match as well, because a lot of the cards, my big ships, are non-targetable, but doesn't mean you can't banish them. So I feel like this is a 3 of no matter what. 2 calls. I had calls at 3. Now I have it at 2. I feel like at 2 it is decent enough to bring back certain ships or monsters back from the grave or the dead. Sometimes I like to even throw a ship with Twin Twister on purpose just to call it back the next round, because people don't really expect that. Oh, you're putting your dank in the grave, what the heck? But some people don't really play ahead. I always like to play ahead and think my plays through. I'll put that over here. And I got Escape. Escape from the Dark Dimension. This is another card that lets you call, but it lets you call from the banished. And with the Cosmos, you do a lot of banishing. So this is very essential. You want to maybe call back an Eclipse or Dank or what be it from your banished. This is a very good card. I had 3 calls. I didn't have this in. I figured that this would be a good counter card to bring if you're bringing back a banish if you don't have that many fodder in the graveyard. And last but not least, to complete my 40 card deck, I got Solemn. Strikes are a little too pricey for me right now. I'm going to wait till the hype price goes down, if ever. But 1 Solemn Warning right now. What you can do is maxed, but it's always a good card to negate their opponent's summon. So let's go right into the sides. I got 2 Avec Veilers. Basically, this is to stop your opponent from effects. You know, if they want to pop off around turn 1 or whatever. This is a good card to have in hand, of course. You don't really want to draw into this when you're looking for a top deck. This is more of a card you want if you have a good hand already, but decent sides. Maxi. Maxi has always been a bubble card for myself. It is great to have draw power, don't get me wrong. Some people main Maxi. I had it main, but you know, it's another card I dropped out for something like a planet or Eclipse or what be it. But it's a good card to tech in if you feel like you can Maxi challenge them and get the card you're looking for. Cyber Dragon. This is definitely for the mirror match against Cosmos. Basically, special summon this card. You bring out another card I'll show you from my extra deck. Pretty good tech. I like it. Flying Sea. I had this at 3 actually. This was one of my cards I would have to tech in against BA. Although BA seems to be relatively quiet in the local scene right now, it's still a good deck in my opinion. But Flying Sea, basically when your opponent normal or special summons, you can summon this on your opponent's field, causing them not being able to overlay with an XYZ monster or material. So this is a pretty good card to have. I would suggest at 3 or 2. System Down, or like I like to call it, System of a Down, like the band. Basically, this card you pay 1,000, destroy all face-up machine type monsters your opponent controls in the graveyard. So this could stop a lot of plays like call and stuff like that. So this definitely wrecks my deck that we're talking about right now. This is a hard counter against Cosmos. Cosmorning. This is a newer card that I've been playing around with. You have to battle your opponent with a Kozmo monster in order for the cards not to go straight to the grave, but to go right to the deck. It's a good card, especially against BA. That's another card I had kind of sided for them, or even Pendulums. Instead of going to the extra, it would go to the deck. Vanities, of course, you don't want them to special summon. It's a good card to have when you have Vanities lock with a Dank or something else on field. Quaking Mirror Force. A lot of people have been using Drowning. I've been thinking about getting a Drowning, but Quaking seems to do the trick for me as well. All attacking monsters go face down into vents and cannot move their position. Pretty decent card. 2 anti-spell. Got this to slow down the Monarch matchup, which is horrible for me, and Pendulums, of course. That's a must. Masker Restrict as well. No tribute summons for Monarchs. And Intercept, an older card for Monarchs as well. Definitely Masker Restricts are hard to come by in the local scene, so had to make do, and this basically allows you to activate only when a monster is tribute summoned with 1 tribute. Take control of that monster. Pretty self-explanatory. You can kind of put 2 and 2 if you know what Monarchs do, right? We'll go right into, last but not least, the extra. So I got a Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, which is a tech with Cyber Dragon. Pretty good card. F-Zero, Utopic Future. This is a really good card. It's very broken. Leviar. I got the 1 Leviar. I got a lot of rank level 3 in my deck. I would say 4 to be exact. So this is definitely a good card to bring back a level 4 or lower from Banished. So I'd want to bring back even a Sword Trooper or a Tin Can or a Straw Man or Farm Girl. One of them. They're very good cards to have on the field. So Nightmare Shark, if you want to go for that direct, you know, it's a decent card. My extra, I don't really tap into it as much as like a Fire King player would, so my extra's got some cards that I just have in for now, but I definitely do want to get some better cards. Like Nightmare Shark I wouldn't really normally have. Same thing with Leviathan Dragon, just tack that in there for now. I had to cut a Good Witch, which made me cut a Castell, which was my only rank 4 play. So Leviathan's just in there. 2k beater, it could be 25 or even 3k, but you can't attack directly, so it's a whatever card. Volcasaurus, of course, you know, my cards look pretty hectic because of all the gold, but you know, it's made it viable and cheap to play. As well as Constellar Pallades, decent. You got your Gaia, the Thunder Charger is a very good looking card. I really like the ulti here, so that's nice. We got the Cyber Dragon Nova. You got the overlay for the Infinity. You know what this card does. This card is hella broken. Could definitely break fields with this card for the negation and just absorbing. It's a very good card. I like it. We got Heretic Sun, Dragon of the Overlord of Helios. This card does not target, so I did have this in here because it does not target, does not say it targets. So I think this is a good card if you ever get desperate to overlay on 2 Danks. Having 2 Danks in the field is pretty easy to have. Same thing with Hope. I think Hope is a decent card. It does do the 3k beater, but it does have some good effects. When spell card's activated, you can negate and absorb that as well. It's good against Monarchs, I believe. We got the number 23 Lancelot, the Dark Knight of the Underworld. And this is overlay against 2 Danks. Then we got another one. We got Pain Gainer, where you overlay over that, like so. Detach, destroy any that are summoned. And then we got 7 Sins to overlay on top of that. It's a really good play. So all in all, that is my deck build. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, any feedback, I'm more than welcome to open but to your feedback. But this is my deck. I don't really net deck. I don't do that at all. I find that that's kind of pointless. I feel like this has won me local tournaments. It does the job for myself, but a lot of people are jumping on the Fire King Island build. But that being said, my name is Ezy3lkan, and that is my deck profile for today. I'm always changing, always open to suggestions, so hit me back, subscribe, and follow back for more action to do with Yu-Gi-Oh!